Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to the channel and tuning in. So we're back at the old desk where I show off all my laptops, and this is a laptop I found at Value Village, my go-to place for used laptops. And this time around, I bought myself a HP Pavilion G series. It's a Pavilion G7, and it's running Windows 7, which I guess it was designed for. It's sporting an Core i3 processor, and we're going to take a little look at this thing. The other things we're going to do with it is just maybe play a YouTube video. I was going to do the old Nova Bench, but I can't because it looks like there's an update showing up. So I guess there's still updates for Windows 7, apparently, when you haven't ran them for a long time. There's most of our I/O there. Basically, VGA, exhaust port, Ethernet. You got your HDMI, a couple of USB, audio. Got the old card reader there, which is nice to have. A couple indicator lights, which are nice to have. Front-facing speakers, which are good. And, you know, they sound pretty good for a laptop. Don't expect much from a laptop. Here you go. Another USB, Kensington lock, power, and we got an optical drive for those who care. I don't use them much, but, you know, on occasion. There are occasions when it's nice to load an operating system with a optical drive instead of a USB. For me personally, just convenience. You can do it both ways, but you know, I just find a lot of times I have the existing optical disc, and you know, I can just plug it in and go. So, all right, there you go. So here's the rundown on this system. So it's running, like I said, Windows 7, 64-bit, Service Pack 1, of course, and it has a Windows experience of 5. We'll look into a little deeper what that means. And it's got 4 gigabytes of RAM. There's the i3 processor. It's a 2330M, and yeah, there you go. There's the details, the initial details. Let's take a look at that Windows experience thingy. Let's see here. There we go. So yeah, what's the weak point? It's always the graphics, guys. It's always the graphics. So it's in this particular case, it's a 5 out of a possible 7.9. So it's not terrible. It's okay for a laptop of this vintage. So I'm happy with it. We're going to be running a YouTube video with it. So we'll get into that. But before we do, we'll go into detail on each component because that's what we do here. So there you go. There's the details about the processor, motherboard. The BIOS are updated to 2013, so I'm assuming that's fairly new. I haven't done anything with that. I generally don't unless I have to. Bricked a few things, so don't like that. DDR3, there you go, running in dual channel, 666 megahertz. There's the breakdown on the actual sticks. So it's Samsung from year 2011. So let's switch over here. Let's see if it's the same. Nope, different one. Also from 2011. So there you go. That's a 4, and this is a 2. In either event, I think this thing's from 2011. That sounds about right as far as date goes. Graphics are the Intel family graphics using the Sandy Bridge. And there you go. We're gonna find out how that does. It'll be interesting. Enough of that. Swing it over here. Summary basically of all the stuff. Hang on, let me just move that over there. Okay, good. All right, so there's sort of a summary of everything. You got your self-storage. It's got looks like about a 7 gigabytes of space. 700, excuse me, gigabytes of space on a Western Digital. Spinning, of course. Yeah, I haven't looked at the health of the disc. It's probably fine though. I haven't really checked it though. Didn't do that. Forgot to do that. Should we do that? Let's see here. What is that called? Crystal disk info. Oh yes. Warning. You're about to go into crystal disk info. It could damage your system completely. So, did I hit no? What did I do? Did it not go? What's going on here? Let me just, sorry guys, amateur night here. Yes, I do want to allow it. And why isn't it coming up? Well, apparently, it's not letting me open crystal disk info. Don't know why. I gotta troubleshoot it while I'm shooting a video. There's our all our different drivers and stuff. They're all working. Oh, whoa, lo and behold, it opened. Okay, so yeah, performance, awesome. Okay, so let's take a look how old this drive is, how much use it has. It has 106 days of usage, and it's been powered on 905 times. So that's pretty young for say a 2011 system, like 2011 computer. But 2025, so what is that, 15 years, something like that? 14 years? Let's call it a 15-year-old laptop. That's crazy. That's so young. Anyway, there you go. No warnings, temperature's fine, 29 degrees is fine. All right. Now I was gonna run the Nova Bench, but I'd run it earlier, and because of that update, I'll just give you the summary of it. So the Nova Bench score was 570, and for, you know, a system of this time period, that's actually not bad. You get a lot of desktops that run those kind of numbers. What I always look at most importantly is the graphics test, because that's usually the weakest link in these systems. And, you know, 98 frames per second would get you by for anything you're doing on a Windows 7 system for sure, I think. So I'm happy with those stats. Let's take a quick look at the actual keyboard. It's a little dirty. I need to dust it off a bit, I think, but I think you can see it. I haven't done a lot of cleanup on it. But I mean, it's in fairly good shape. It's a little shiny. I see some hair. Yik. Anyway, and yeah, the trackpad's in perfect shape. I like this about these HP. You just double tap it, and it locks out the input, and then you're back on track. And of course, this has all the drivers and stuff because it's got everything set up. So all these function keys work, which is great. So when you actually, you know, let's see if I can do something. Let's turn up the brightness. You can actually see the on-screen heads-up stuff. So you got a few different types of things. You can see on the keyboard, it has, you know, and I like having a numpad, so that's awesome. It almost has a good keyboard layout, but yep, gotta love that. Good old French Canadian keyboard with some blue stuff. I mean, I guess this could be European too, right? Because it's got the pound symbol. I don't know. think there's another way of describing this keyboard, but definitely it's French Canadian for sure. I know that because I live in Canada. That's the only reason why you'd have some of these funky keys. But anyway, nonetheless, whatever. I see it all the time. This is usually a good indicator. But anyway, it is what it is. I speak English. I took a little bit of French in high school, and it wasn't my forte. But hey, I'm not against the French, guys. You know, you have a right to speak French. I just wish you could keep your keyboards in Quebec. But anyhow, that's just me. Not against French people. I had, you know, growing up, I had lots of French friends. I used to work with a French lady for years and years. We got along great. I love her. You know, one thing I got to say about the French Canadian culture and community and sense of humor, I really love it. They got the great sense of humor. Anyway, enough of that. So off on a tangent. Let's test out YouTube. Let's see what that's like on an old system like this. Let's go. Hey everybody, I'm back. Welcome back to the channel. And I always appreciate my viewers, just to share that little thought with you. Thank you for tuning in to my video. So this is going to be a really short video. It's going to be about why do I pick a certain laptop. Now, I'm not talking about a thrift store laptop. I pick a thrift store laptop based on how much it is. Okay guys, so that's obvious that no drop frames, it runs fine. I'm sure I could get a bigger resolution, but typically when I watch videos on a laptop, I don't go full screen in YouTube land. So this is usually sufficient. I'm sure it would do fine though. I'm not losing any frames, so it's fine. So these things are actually pretty decent. And there, of course, is my funky background. The cauliflower tree is what I call this. But anyhow, yeah, there you go, guys. Great laptop. What do you think of it? Not bad for a laptop or a thrift store find. Let's take a look at that cover. Can I get an angle on this? It's virtually a couple marks. CV marks. CV marks. But by and large, it's not scratched up hardly at all. Some nicks here and there, I'm sure, but this is that time period when HP liked to put like these metal logos on their laptops, and I got a lot of these. Like they show up at Value Village quite regularly. People thinking that, you know, oh, they're too old for Windows 10, I guess, or Windows 11. They certainly won't take Windows 11 without funky tricks, but I mean, who cares? I don't care about Windows 11, Windows 10. I like Windows 7 on a system like this. This isn't a work laptop. This is a fun laptop. I love having a few fun laptops to fool around with, and this one's great. So anyway, what do you think of the idea of trying out a live boot on this thing? Do you think that would work? I think it would pick up the drivers and stuff it would need just for live boot, just so we could test YouTube. What do you think? Maybe we should do that, right? So let's try that in the next video and see kind of results we get. All right, guys, talk to you later.